Juxtapose that with your pathetic, feeble attempt to detail the same thing, Cats.
What the angular resolution limit is across patterns that are diffracting.
None of them representative of the world, and go skewy and haywire when you try and wrap it around a ball. Even if it's supposed to be a globe projection, you can't wrap it around a ball correctly. Even if you've got millions and photographs from a fake place called space, you still can't get the scales right when it's wrapped around a ball. Yeah, it's not wrapped around a ball. We're on a flat plane. It's fairly obvious.
I kind of laugh when they ask us where's our map and shit. Even their own side says that we don't have an accurate map.
Oh, thanks again to another opportunity for me to say hashtag thanks, Cats. That's right, yeah. We have we've been consistently using Google Earth in terms of its actual measurements, because locally, and with all the measurements, it represents as flat. You can draw out an elevation profile and show how flat it is. No drop. Now, bearing in mind that their assertions come with the claim of drop, you'd expect it to be representative in something that's actually claimed to be an accurate measurement of it, and is used professionally with those measurements. Now, our representation, how they sneered when we said that Google Earth was our map, bearing in mind they'd just relinquished it and made it absolutely explicitly clear that it wasn't their model. No. Definitely not the globe Earth model. No. All right. Well, that's because it's a flat Earth model. And we have taken ownership of it, irrespective of their sneering at us when we told them. Yeah, well, now we're in a position where someone's making claims, Cats, Ranty, and Ruhif. And we can hold them to task and quickly show an elevation profile with no drop in your favourite Muppet vision. Now, I immediately challenged them to come up with an equivalent, obviously that did include drop. How are you getting on with that model, lads? It's been a week. You're supposed to be on a sphere. Haven't you got this to your fingertips? We as flat earthers have. We've already given our demonstrations. Where's yours? Ours was so accurate, it had drudged out trawler lanes in the elevation profile. That's how accurate our flat earth presentations have been. You've got crude diagrams dumbed down to the point where they only include perspective as a flat earth straw man. It's pathetic. Is that your level of comprehension when it comes to the world and how it presents, in spite of every word we've said and the list you've got of things we detail, including ones that Ranty's put on? Myself and Ranty sat through 5 hours of presentations on perspective from Life is Short, one of my Patreons, who very graciously did an extensive study on the subject and detailed all of those different things that are involved. It's still on my channel. I chopped it up into pieces, a bit more digestible, maybe 45 minutes each. I think there's 6 of them or 7 of them, something like that. Anyway, you can check out a very comprehensive, detailed explanation. It looks the business. He's done the work and given explanations that you can go out and validate. Now, it takes a huge amount of time to quantify an observation. Now, that, whatever it was, 4 or 5 hours, was done off the basis of one observation from Red Pill Philosophy. Took 5 hours to detail just the perspective, with a disclaimer that no weather had been taken into consideration. Now, I know Ranty sat through that presentation, yet he sat and watched somebody draw out a couple of straight lines on a graph paper without actually factoring anything to do with perspective that we've detailed. Just their crude understanding of perspective.
I was going to say, when Kosho come on and started talking about angular size change with distance, that's not all that goes into perspective. So he was the straw man he was making, he wasn't debunking perspective. I don't even know what he was doing.
Well, he was trying to save Cats and Co. from their very flimsy straw man of their crude trig to acquire perspective when doing it on a flat plane. Now, they couldn't do it on a globe, so they had to utilise that actual trig to burn later as a straw man and say, well, flat earthers claim that, that's why I've done it that way, I've done you a favour. Well, listen out for these things. When people say QE highlighted this and he's so correct. When someone says, I'm doing you a favour, there's no such thing as a free lunch. What do you mean you're doing me a favour? Why would you be doing me a favour? What that actually means is, I'm going to be holding this up as a presentation of something that you haven't said, so I can burn it. That's my favour.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I hear when you say somebody, oh, he's doing us a favor. Aren't you supposed to be trying to prove us wrong? Don't do us any favors. Just prove your point and keep it moving.
So far, I've trimmed out Everett Anderson's list that was detailed by Tim Osman to Ranty, an extensive list that included weather. Now, do I now need to go and trim out Ranty sat through a presentation with Life is Short on perspective, and then juxtapose that with your pathetic, feeble attempt to detail the same thing, Cats?
What the angular resolution limit is across patterns that are diffracting.
It's embarrassing. Now, if you want me to juxtapose what has been claimed in terms of perspective only, which you think you're burning as a straw man for Flat Earth, you're not. You're burning your own pathetic understanding of perspective, and I can demonstrate that by putting it side by side with Life is Short, with Ranty sat there. How embarrassing. Now, given that we have detailed these things, and the guy sat next to you knows it, I'd expect you to, at the very least, detail those things. Now, that's before we get to weather, that we immediately set Kosho to task on. So that's definitely not been factored in. Meanwhile, in defence of your nonsense, Rumpus has had to come here and have a proper bum smacking. While he tells us that, oh, no, the very complex, refracted target-based, begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator didn't need a refracted horizon to be taken into account because it was dumbed down.
Probably just demonstrating the geometric horizon.
We are not going to see the geometric horizon.
We're just demonstrating the geometric horizon. I may have been talking about geometric horizons at that point.
So it was a geometric horizon. In the Isle of Man, you drew a tangent to the bulge, Rumper, to claim it was Earth curve getting in the way. It wasn't a refracted bulge.
Well, I may have explained that's a geometric condition, just like Mick West has...
Oh, so it was a geometric horizon getting in the way after all, then? Very complex, refracted target-based, begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve calculator. Now, that very lengthy sentence was about how your model needs a million caveats that we must take into consideration if we're going to critique it. Yet you think you can hold up your pathetic little diagrams, Cats? My God, all that shows is how stupid you are when you think you're representing what we actually claim. And isn't it shocking that the guy on your side, recently transitioned to the Globe, didn't mention a word of heavily detailed presentations from Life is Short that he sat through? When you held up that little crappy straw man of what you, Cats, think perspective is. That just demonstrates how stupid you are, given it's your presentation. We have far more comprehensive understanding of perspective than Cats. Now, Cats thinks that he can show his very, very feeble understanding of perspective and say that that's what flat earthers think. Oh no, Cats. We'll just laugh at your rudimentary understanding that you're holding up as a straw man and laugh at you. And then make the list that you've all had there to hand about what we do claim and set you to task getting all those things, Cats, for your straw man that obviously you're still going to stand by, in spite of the fact this is the end of the first week of us pointing out exactly how feeble your understanding of perspective is and how crap it is to burn it as a straw man, when we're going to highlight the devastating fact that perspective was excluded in all Isle of Man claims, like the one on screen. What's that you say? These towers with little wind turbines on them are falling behind the curve of the Earth. Here's the maths of the physical horizon that's doing it. Oh yeah, well what about perspective, we cried. And now, thanks to Cats, perspective's back on the table. But yet this time, with perspective on the table, everyone understanding that things get smaller, we haven't got a geometric horizon to claims blocking, Isle of Man. Well, that's very unfortunate for everyone who claimed it, Cats, including Roofy, who's also sat next to you, having drawn tangents to Earth curve horizons. Devastating, mate. Now, for all the people who think that we're in, quote, damage control mode, This is like with Thunderfoot. You're never going to hear the end of Cat's catastrophe. You've got to be kidding, right? Where's your geometric horizon that was asserted in your perspective hijacking Earth curve, Matt? Oh, yeah, you haven't got one anymore. What about all the claims that Ruhif made, claiming to prove it was there? Oh, they're all void. Void, cats! Every clown that came here with that calculator has got their claims voided because of you. I hope you're proud.
Yeah, I was shocked at the comments on that last video you put out. These people are blind, stupid, and dumb if they think we're in damage control.
Gotta be kidding. I've heard from the rumour mill that they think we're shying away from the evidence of this Blackpool Tower Black Swan. Oh, no, no, no. We have taken ownership of it with our claim that if the Earth was a sphere radius 3959, then every distance to horizon, that's Earth curve, same Earth curve claimed in the maths to block Isle of Man, could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And the horizon in the Blackpool Swan, we're apparently shying away from, is beyond the geometric limitations that were formerly claimed to block the Isle of Man. Unlucky. Oh, I bet Cats has got them all tap dancing to his wonderful proof, see, while we laugh at him for his rudimentary understanding and his exposure of the lack of horizon to block things. Have you figured out how stupid this move was, Cats? Has it sunk in yet? Are you still scratching your head why we were attributing all of this to you? I reckon it'll take him at least a month to figure it out. He's probably scratching his head going, how is this linked to me?
As you keep saying, them trying to get us to accept a straw man.